How's it going, folks? This is Mike, Ray 1951, and it is right about midnight, Saturday, I should say Sunday morning. It has been raining all day here in subtropical Champaign, Illinois. There's kind of like a flash flood thing going on. There's certainly a flash flood in my basement, which I don't want to think about. And anyway, so the music you're hearing in the background, you can hear it. Didn't want to make it too loud, but it is the soundtrack to the American International 1961 version of Black Sunday, Mario Bava's Black Sunday, which is pretty cool music and very appropriate for what I have to show you today, because I got something in the mail. There was a package waiting for me when I got up today, and here's the package, which I've opened. And inside the package was something I ordered from Movies Unlimited, which is one of my favorite places to buy movies. And it is the American version of Black Sunday on Blu-ray. Let's show you the entire cover here. Okay. Now, this is from Kino Lorber, and a little story behind this here. I just recently got Blu-ray capability, and the first movie that I played on Blu-ray was this version of the same film, which is the original uncut version dubbed into English, which is the title on the disc is actually The Mask of Satan. Well, I'm sure most of you know that anyway. Well, when I got my Blu-ray player, I already had this for several months, and this was the first film I put in because it is my favorite film. Certainly my favorite horror film. It's probably my favorite film in the whole world. And I have, now with this, I have 7 versions of it here. So anyway, it was the first thing I wanted to see on Blu-ray, and I was very disappointed. It just didn't look good. And I thought, well, okay, I need to make some adjustments on the machine, or there's something wrong. And I was very discouraged. I watched it for about maybe 30 minutes or 40, something like that. And I took it out, and I decided to put in one of my DVD versions of the film, the one from Image Entertainment, which came out, I think, in 2000 or 2001. And it looked fantastic. It looked absolutely fantastic. And I found out after playing other films on the machine, I realized there was nothing wrong with the machine. So I communicated with some of my friends on Facebook who belong to the same Barbara Steele fan group. And I had other people tell me that the Kino Lorber Blu-ray of this was not very good, and a lot of them were complaining about it. They said that probably it had bad source material. So with a little bit of trepidation, I sent away for this because I wanted to get the American version on a good either DVD or Blu-ray version. So I decided to send away, and I played it today, and it really is fantastic, I have to admit. I'm very pleased with it. And after I watched this all the way through, because it was a dark, dreary, rainy Saturday with nothing else to do but sit in the house and watch horror movies. It was a perfect day for it. So I had a really nice time today. But I decided to put this in again and just give it another chance. And you know, the second time I watched it, I liked it a little bit better. But still, it has a lot of flaws in it, and I would not recommend this. But I would recommend this. If you're interested at all in seeing the censored American version that became very, very famous, it was a huge success in the United States, you know, give this a chance. And I don't know, I think this only came out on Blu-ray. I don't think they have a DVD version of the American version. I could be wrong. But anyway, so what is the difference between these two? What is missing in this that this one had? Basically 4 minutes. This is 87 minutes long, and this is 83 minutes long. And they cut out a few seconds here and there of what they consider to be overly graphic, kind of sexual connotation and overly graphic violence. And they also cut out a kind of an extended scene of a romantic scene between the two leading characters, played by John Richardson and Barbara Steele, that they thought their target audience of 12-year-old boys would probably laugh at. And they were, more than likely, they were right. But other than that, this is actually very good. It does have a completely different score and different dialogue and different voices. And I actually think that the dubbing on this is 100% better than on the original, The Mask of Satan. I think that they did a very, very good job of matching the voices to the words, and a lot of the dialogue was changed. And I really think that what they used in this version was probably closer to what the people were actually saying. Now, Barbara Steele and John Richardson, and maybe some of the other Italian actors as well, were recording their dialogue in English, and it should have been very easy to fit their words to English dubbing. But I think that they did a kind of a piss poor job in this. And the thing about the musical score in this, which is by Les Baxter, and he did a lot of scores for American International back in the 1960s, including some of the Edgar Allan Poe films. The score is terrific. I think the main complaint that I would have, and that a lot of other people have mentioned as well, is that there's altogether too much music. There are a lot of scenes in the original score by Roberto Nicolosi that leaves room for a lot of silence and a lot of just kind of creepy sound effects and winds and things like that, which really enhance a lot of the scenes. And I think that if I were going to pick and choose, I would probably take the music from one and place it in the other film at certain places and all that. I don't know. For example, the opening scene where the executioners are approaching Barbara Steele with the metal mask. In the original, The Mask of Satan, there's no music there. It's just the sound of the howling wind. It's very, very effective. And Les Baxter's score has the whole thing with cymbals crashing and drums and all that. And it is very effective, but in a much different way. And in the same way, the resurrection of the male vampire Yavuto, well, in the original it's called Yavutich. For some reason, in the American version, they changed his name to Yavuto. Don't ask me why. But in the original, the music stops about the time when the grave starts to open up. And from then on, it's just the crash of thunder and lightning and lots of wind and mist flying around. Other than that, there's no sound. And it's very, very creepy and effective. And but they use a lot of music, very bombastic music in the American version. And it's effective in a much different way. I've said this on other videos where I've talked about Black Sunday. I seem to talk about it way too much. I apologize. But the original version, with its very subliminal musical score, makes you feel like you're having a nightmare. Whereas in the American version, with the much louder and more bombastic type music, it makes you feel like you're watching a really terrific horror movie. Now, both are effective and both are very exciting, but I guess it's all very subjective on which one you prefer. Anyway, that is my little commentary on the American International version of Black Sunday, released in 1961. Much different than the original. You will find in many different forms. This one I would not necessarily recommend, the one from Kino Lorber. And I hate to say that, because Kino Lorber does excellent work most of the time, and they did excellent work with this. So buyer beware. In the meantime, I hope that all of you have a great Sunday, and I'm hoping the rain will stop, but I'm not counting on it. So, again, if you have any comments about the film, music, rain, anything you want to talk about, let me know.